to DC News Now. I'm Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb. Well, what a gorgeous day for many locations across the DMV, but a little bit more cloud coverage continues to work its way in currently, and we're tracking just a few spot showers, but we are looking forward to a mostly sunny Tuesday. We'll look at that forecast coming up.
It definitely worries me as a parent who have children who attend the sporting events, and also as a parent who has a player playing in these events.
Tonight on DC News Now at 9, families rattled after a brawl breaks out at a high school football game. What is supposed to be a safe, inclusive event is anything but when fists start flying. What's being done to curb game night violence in Gaithersburg?
Plus, investigators looking into a D.C. police dog found dead inside a hot car. We're live from the scene.
And Puerto Rico in the dark tonight. Historic floods pounding the island, causing mass blackouts and a trail of destruction. A look at how firefighters in our area are stepping up to help.
Good Monday evening, D.C. Thank you so much for joining us tonight at 9 on D.C. News Now. I'm Tasmin Mahfouz.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Flanagan. Developing tonight in the district, a police K-9 is dead after being left in a hot-marked police cruiser. It happened early this morning.
And Marielle Carbone is working on this story for us tonight. Marielle, you're live outside the police facility where the dog was found.
Yeah, that's right. And with us, canines, they risk their lives every day to keep the community safe, just like their fellow police officers. So we are seeing so much outpouring of support and sympathy on social media today after this news was released. Police say that the car was parked, secured, and idling outside of this police warehouse and facility here on New York Avenue. That is when the handler came out and found the dog dead inside the car. Now, there is not a ton of foot traffic in this area. It's kind of on a highway here, so not any homes or other businesses around this area. Police tell us the investigation is ongoing. We don't know how long the dog was inside the car, but we do know that it was a marked canine car. Now, that dog, Canine Rocket, was a longtime explosives detection dog assigned to the Special Operations Division. Rocket was 7 years old. MPD is calling this a tragic incident tonight. In fact, safeguards, they are in place to prevent this from happening. In a statement, the department says all canine vehicles at MPD are equipped with a temperature monitoring and alarm system that should activate when the interior environment of the vehicle exceeds the safe temperature. A full inspection of the vehicle is being conducted to determine if the system malfunctioned. Now, we do know the temperatures this morning, it was warm out. They were in the 80s. And of course, inside a locked car, it can get much hotter than that. Chris and Tasmin, we did reach out to MPD asking if there are any potential charges in this, and if so, what laws those charges would apply to, but we have not heard back. Again, this investigation is still ongoing. Reporting live in the district tonight, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
Marielle, thanks. Also happening tonight, police are investigating after a bucket truck operator was killed when he hit a power line in Fairfax County. This all happened on Georgetown Pike near Langley Fork Lane around 2:15 this afternoon. The man was a Cox communication technician and died at the scene. The company says it is working with local authorities and internal safety teams to fully investigate this incident. And in Montgomery County, new details about fights that broke out at Gaithersburg High School during a Friday night football game.
Yeah, Cheyenne Corin covers Montgomery County for us and is also joining us live. Cheyenne, we hear there's some charges being pressed. What is the district doing to improve safety at these events?
Hi, Tasmin. So today, MCPS, they actually held a meeting to discuss that Friday night football brawl. I'm told included in that meeting were administrators as well as athletic staff. Now, they say the goal of this meeting was to try to figure out how they can prevent this from happening in the future. But I spoke with some parents, and they say that their main concern is hearing that actually coaches were also involved in this fight.
It definitely worries me as a parent who have children who attend the sporting events, and also as a parent who has a player playing in these events.
A Montgomery County School District spokesperson says the two teams fighting during a football game Friday night were escorted off the field and dealt with quickly. Following the incident, both principals released a joint statement saying that they are updating their safety plans. And now both schools' football programs also are temporarily suspended as they continue to investigate.
I knew once everything settled that, punishment would be doled out. But I don't know that I agree with the blanket suspension of all football programs.
Gaithersburg police say another fight happened off the field as crowds were leaving. It involved people not associated with either school. Officials say a school staffer and officer were hurt and another person suffered cuts. 5 teenagers are facing assault and other charges for that incident.
I think trust has definitely been broken knowing that coaches were involved.
Catherine Ford's son plays JV soccer and says on social media, witnesses have said coaches were also involved in the fight on the field, and that's what worries her most.
Not only, reinforcing the good sportsmanship among the players, but also the adults, including the coaches.
Now, MCPS, they have not officially confirmed that it was coaches also involved in that fight, but I took it upon myself to directly reach out to those 2 coaches, and I actually did hear back from the Northwest High School coach. Now, in a text message, I'm going to read this word for word what he had to say. He said, "At the moment, I'm still shocked at the situation. I am the victim, and I would like to clear my name soon." I also, of course, reached out to the coach here at Gaithersburg High School, who declined to comment at this time. Now, MCPS says that they will be conducting an administrative review, and anyone, staff or student that was involved will be facing disciplinary action. We'll make sure that we keep you updated. Of course, I'm in Montgomery County, Maryland. I'm Cheyenne Karen for DC News Now.
Cheyenne, thank you. And also tonight, decision makers in Northern Virginia school districts are pushing back on the Youngkin administration's new transgender student policy, many of whom say would harm those students. Now, the policy is not in place yet and could face legal challenges before it even begins. Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Max Marcilla first shared details of the policy last week. And Max, tonight a lot of families in our region have gotten clear messages from school leaders about this policy.
That's right, because both superintendents of Fairfax County Public Schools and Arlington County Public Schools have sent out messages to families essentially saying transgender student rights are the policy in their school districts and they want those to continue. They're not the only ones chiming in, as school board members from across our region have also chimed in about the new model policy.
Across Northern Virginia schools, messages of disapproval of the new Department of Education policy on transgender students.
Unfortunately, with this governor, it seems like the cruelty is the point.
Fairfax County School Board member Carl Frisch, who is also running to become a state delegate, says this policy tramples the rights of LGBTQ+ students, and he emphasized it's not the policy in Fairfax County.
We will continue to support our transgender and gender expansive students.
That aligns with the message from the division superintendent, Michelle Reed, who says FCPS remains committed to an inclusive learning environment. Frisch says the division's council is reviewing the policy, including how it aligns with the law on the books in Virginia that makes school boards establish policies to address common issues regarding transgender students in accordance with evidence-based best practices.
The law is very clear. This is about protecting transgender and gender expansive students. You can't fulfill a law that says you must protect by saying we're washing our hands of it.
Arlington superintendent and board chair released a statement saying they're committed to providing school environments that are welcoming, safe, and supportive for all students. The governor's team says this is all about parental rights, saying in part it is not under a school's or the government's purview to impose a set of particular ideological beliefs on all students.
So, as of now, no legal challenges have been filed about this model policy, but the public comment period on the Board of Education's website, well, that starts 1 week from today. It'll last for 30 days, so people can be sure to chime in on that. Reporting live from Fairfax County, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
All right, tracking weather now. Historic flooding from Hurricane Fiona pounding Puerto Rico tonight, as you can see. Most of the island has no power or water. The outages are likely to last days. The storm so far has ripped pavement from roads, torn off roofs, and flooded 2 airports. 2 deaths have been reported so far. A man in Puerto Rico was swept away by a flooded river, and a person in the Dominican Republic was hit by a fallen tree.
Yeah, more video here. The surging floodwaters washing away a bridge in Utuado, Puerto Rico. Now you can see water overtaking the bridge until the pressure eventually snaps the bridge away and it floats down the river.
All right, hurricane has now pulled for the time, Elise, away from the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb. Janessa, we can actually see some high surf here.
Yeah, the East Coast needs to be prepared for some beach erosion, high surf in the next few days, as this storm system is not likely to impact the U.S., but waters are definitely going to be on the upward trend along with that high tide as the system continues to track north and east. Dissecting this storm right now, it has made its way over the Hispaniola Mountains, and that is a very tall mountain range, and so the structure continues to really maintain force. Actually an eye now, this is your satellite composite radar in the upper atmosphere, and so you can see good circulation in those 4 quadrants, and they're still dumping a good amount of rain. We are talking 30+ inches in central Puerto Rico, just devastating flooding that continues to really take place. It will continue its trek more to the north in the next few hours, and I think by tomorrow morning it will have limited interaction with land. And so you can see from our cone of uncertainty, when this cone starts to shrink, we know that the National Hurricane Center is pretty spot on with their track. And so this keeps it far from Florida, any coastal areas of the Carolinas, and especially the Chesapeake Bay. Unfortunately, though, with a body of water like the Atlantic sitting in temperatures of about 85 to nearly 90 degrees, the re-strengthening of this storm will allow this to be our first major hurricane of the season. So potentially going into a Cat 4 by Wednesday afternoon, and then it's really Bermuda, Nova Scotia that we are going to be watching. Now closer to home, well, we are going to start to watch a cold front make its way across our area. It will cool us off for your Tuesday, but bring more sunshine. We'll look at that forecast coming up.
All right, Janessa, we'll see you then. Thanks. Meanwhile, dozens of elite emergency responders from around the DMV have started to make their way to help the people of Puerto Rico. But Dave Laval tells us why getting to the island has been so difficult.
Members of Maryland Task Force 1 have waited at Signature Aviation since early Sunday morning to take off from BWI Airport. They will fly to Puerto Rico to help the survivors of the hurricane-ravaged island. The 35 team members have found ways to pass the time.
I'm functioning now on this trip as the safety officer, so I've been doing a lot of research. What's there, what's, other than it being a resort town.
Representatives from Montgomery County Fire Rescue Services, DC Fire, Prince George's County Fire, and Howard County Fire make up the team that will be involved with search and rescue operations.
It could be anything from a mudslide and a building collapse that we have to stabilize to get people out, or be in a boat and go help people that way.
Task Force 1 is often called upon to help following a natural disaster. Members told us it's an opportunity to put their training to use in areas desperately needing help.
On the day-to-day 911 calls or emergency calls that we answer every day, sometimes they get to be mundane and routine, and this is totally the other end of the spectrum.
There's another reason why they do this.
It's a chance to go help out somebody else in need. Yeah, that's why we do it. So they want to go help, and they do a good job at it. They're very well trained to do it.
You spend so much time in your life dedicated to something, and you like to put it to use. And that's when you really get the positive feedback from the folks that, thank you for being there to help us.
Time to load the bags, but not for their flight. Team members head out to dinner and back to their hotel, as they will try again Tuesday to fly to Puerto Rico and help those who need it. A team spokesperson told us weather has created a backlog of flights in and out of Puerto Rico. The team hopes to leave for the island early Tuesday morning and is expected to be gone for at least 10 days. At BWI International Airport, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, and the latest tonight, a Baltimore judge orders a release of Adnan Syed, whose 2000 murder conviction was chronicled in the hit podcast called Serial. Now, the now 41-year-old was serving a life sentence for the death of his ex-girlfriend. Last week, prosecutors filed a motion saying a lengthy investigation uncovered new evidence that could undermine the original conviction. Syed has always maintained his innocence.
Starting today, some Virginia taxpayers will begin receiving one-time rebates. The General Assembly approved payments of up to $250 for individuals and $500 per married couples. Payments will continue through the end of the year or until they're all completed. And to find out if you qualify, visit our story on DCNewsNow.com.
All right, and still ahead, an arrest made in a cold case murder in Maryland. We're digging into the suspect's criminal past and also talking to investigators who say the recent arrest could help other families find justice.
And have you noticed you've been paying more on your energy bill? Why your bill could stay high even when we pass summer.